Hello, class. Welcome to the 11th lesson of this course. Today, we will be covering Unit 12 of Book 1. In this unit, we will talk about analyzing quantities. So we're going to talk about decimal numbers, fractions, percentages, how are they similar, how are they different, and so on. So let us begin. For the first activity of this unit, I want you guys to read the following passage, the Brighter Science Guide's Quantities passage. And after you're done reading, I want you to answer these two warm-up questions. The first one asks, what is the relationship between percentages and decimal numbers? And the second one asks, what are some different types of fractions? Okay, so read the passage, answer the questions by yourselves, pause the video, do all that yourself. And once you're done, resume the video and we will go through the answers together. Here are the answers. For the first one, what is the relationship between percentages and decimal numbers? Decimal numbers and percentages both express quantities as a number of parts out of 100. So they represent parts of a whole. So, but specifically out of 100, right? For the second one, what are some different types of fractions? Improper fractions or mixed numbers are fractions that contain a whole number and a fraction. So you have a normal number with a fraction. While proper fractions are just normal, regular fractions that you see every day that represents a number less than one with a number of parts. So we have the improper that has a whole number and a fraction, and then we just have the regular fractions. All right. So those are the answers. Moving on. For the second warm-up, I want you guys to read the passage again and answer true or false for the following statements. So we have whole numbers require a 0 and a point. Reducing a fraction changes its value. And an improper fraction and a mixed number can express the same quantity. So pause the video, read the passage, and then choose true or false for the following statements. Once you're done, resume the video, and we will go through the answers together. Here are the answers. For the first one, whole numbers require a 0 and a point. The answer to this one is false. Whole numbers do not require decimals, specifically points. Next, reducing a fraction changes its value. The answer to this one is false. As shown in the passage, we have the example of 8 over 10. Reducing it to 4 over 5 is still the same value. So 4 over 5 is the same value as 8 over 10. Next, an improper fraction and a mixed number can express the same quantity. The answer to this one is true. We have the example in the last segment of the passage that the fractions that have quantities larger than 1 can be shown as either improper fraction or mixed or improper fractions or mixed numbers. So we have 9 over 4 or 2 1/4 as the example. So they can have the same quantity. So those were the answers. Now moving on. For the first vocabulary segment of this unit, I want you to match the following words or phrases with the following definitions. So we have these words here: decimal number, point, fraction, mixed number, quantity, and reduce. So I want you guys to match each of these words to the definitions down here. Pause the video, try that out yourselves first. And when you're done, resume the video and we will go through the answers together. Here are the answers. For the first one, an expression showing a number of parts out of a whole. We call this one a fraction. So that's just the direct definition. To change a fraction to a form with the lowest possible whole numbers, we call that reduce. So when we reduce a fraction, we just use we just reduce its form to the lowest possible whole numbers, but it's still the same value as we had talked about earlier. An amount or a numerical value, this one is a quantity. So that's just the definition of a quantity, an amount or numerical value. A value that is expressed with digits before and after a dot. That one is a decimal number. So every decimal number uses a dot and has digits before and after it. Next, a dot between whole units and partial units. We call that one a point. So that's the name of the dot, the point. And the last one, a value that is expressed as a whole number and a fraction. We call this one a mixed number. So a mixed number would have a whole number and a fraction next to the whole number. Okay, so those are the answers. Moving on. For the next vocabulary segment, I want you guys to fill in the blanks of the following sentence pairs. For each pair, you're given a couple of words or phrases that you can choose from. So we have improper fraction, whole number for the first pair, and percent, and out of for the second pair. I want you guys to pause the video, fill out the blanks yourselves first, and when you're done, resume the video and we will go through the answers together. Here are the answers. 7 is an example of a whole number. So 7 by itself is just a whole number. But in the meantime, 9/5 is an example of an improper fraction. So 9/5 is a fraction and it's improper because the one on top is larger than the one on the bottom, so it's more than 1. So this is an example of an improper fraction. For the second pair, 9 blank 10 doctors agree with the new medical requirements. 9 out of 10 doctors. So we see this a lot in advertisement. 9 out of 10 dentists, 9 out of 10 doctors. So there's sort of like a way to represent how many people out of how many agree with something. And for the second one, the local rabbit population is 60 blank female. The local rabbit population is 60% female. So this is just direct percentages, how many of the rabbits are female, and so on. So those are the answers. Moving on to the next segment. For the first listening segment of this unit, I want you to listen to the audio clip of the passage we've been using for our warm-up. After you listen to the audio clip, I want you to fill in the blanks of the sentence, of the incomplete sentence down here in the bottom. So we have 10% can also be expressed as the decimal number blank, or it can be expressed as the fraction blank. So listen to the audio clip, pause the video, fill in the blanks yourselves, and once you're done, resume the video and we will go through the answers together. Here's the audio clip.
Unit 12, Analyzing Quantities, Exercise 5, page 27.
Brighter Science Guides Quantities. Some quantities are whole numbers. They do not include partial units. Examples: the lab employs 10 people. Other quantities have parts that are smaller than 1. These appear as decimal numbers with a 0 and a point. Example: the solution is 0.8 parts water. Decimal numbers are related to percentages. These express quantities as a number of parts out of 100. Example: the solution is 80% water. Fractions are another way to express partial quantities. Example: the solution is 8 out of 10 parts water, or 8/10. You can reduce the fraction to 4/5. Fractions can also represent quantities larger than 1. These might appear as improper fractions or mixed numbers. Example: the solution fills 9/4 containers or 2/4 containers.
So that was the audio clip. Here's the answer. 10% can also be expressed as the decimal number 0.1, or it can be expressed as the fraction 1 out of 10. Okay? So those are the answers. Moving on to the next segment. For the next listening segment of this unit, I want you guys to listen to a conversation between two scientists. Once you're done, choose the correct answers in the following 2 questions. The first one asks, what is the conversation mostly about? And the second one asks, what success rate did the woman expect? Okay, so listen to the audio clip, pause the video, answer the questions yourselves first, and once you're done, resume the video and we will go through the answers together. Here's the audio clip.
Exercises 6 and 7, page 27.
Do you have the medical analysis results?
Yes, they're not at all as we expected.
Uh-oh, so the new drug didn't work.
Not very well. It was only effective 10% of the time.
Really? I expected 100% success.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. In fact, 65 out of 100 patients reported negative effects.
Wow, that's almost 2/3 of them.
Right. So we need to seriously reevaluate the formula.
That was the conversation. If you need to hear it again, rewind this video to the point where I began the audio clip. Here are the answers. What is the conversation mostly about? It is mostly about the results of a recent study. So they were testing a new drug and they were discussing about the results of their medical analysis on that new drug. For the second one, what success rate did the woman expect? She expected 100% success. Unfortunately for her, it was only successful 10% of the time. Okay, so those are the answers. Moving on to the next segment. For the third listening segment of this unit, I want you to listen to the conversation again. And after you listen to it, I want you to fill in the blanks of these incomplete sentences based on what you heard in the conversation. So after you listen to the audio clip, pause the video, fill in the blanks yourselves. And once you're done with all of that, resume the video and we will go through the answers together. Here's the audio clip.
Exercises 6 and 7, page 27.
Do you have the medical analysis results?
Yes, they're not at all as we expected.
Uh-oh, so the new drug didn't work.
Not very well. It was only effective 10% of the time.
Really? I expected 100% success.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. In fact, 65 out of 100 patients reported negative effects.
Wow, that's almost 2/3 of them.
Right. So we need to seriously reevaluate the formula.
That was the audio clip. If you need to hear it again, rewind this video to the point where I began the audio clip. Here are the answers. Do you have the medical analysis results? Yes, they're not at all as we expected. Uh-oh, so the new drug didn't work? Not very well. It was only effective 10% of the time. Really? I expected 100% success. Yeah, it's pretty bad. In fact, 65 out of 100 patients reported negative effects. Wow, that's almost 2/3 of them. Right. So we need to seriously reevaluate the formula. So those were the answers. Moving on to the next segment. For the speaking segment of this unit, I want you guys to complete the following conversation down here using the given sentences. So we have 3 sentences over here. The first one says, so the lakes are more polluted than we thought. The second one, do you have the environmental study results? And the third one, I expected at least 1 or 2%. So I want you guys to pause this video, fill in the blanks yourselves, figure out which sentence belongs to which blank. And once you're done, either with a partner or by yourself, practice speaking out this conversation. And when you're finished with all of that, resume the video and I'll show you what the conversation sounds like. Okay? Here are the answers. Do you have the environmental study results? Yes, they're not at all as we expected. So the lakes are more polluted than we thought? On the contrary, the water was only about 0.001 parts water. Really, that's only 0.1%. I expected at least 1 or 2%. Yes, it's pretty good. In fact, 1/5 of the water samples contain no pollutants at all. So that was the conversation. I hope you have something similar. For the first writing segment of this unit, I want you guys to fill in the blanks of the following summary over here. So we have success, effective, 10, drug, negative, formula, and effects. So figure out which word belongs to which blank, pause the video, fill in the blanks yourselves, and once you're done, resume the video and we will go through the answers together. Here are the answers. Captos Labs, summary of results. Project, test of new drug, Absoloft. Expected results. We expected the drug to be 100% effective. Actual results. The drug was only 10% effective. 2/3 of the patients actually reported negative effects. Conclusion. We need to rework the formula until we get closer to 100% success. Okay, so those are the answers. Moving on to the next segment. For the next writing segment, I want you guys to also fill in the blanks of this summary of results over here using the given words up here. This time we have fraction, percent, time, correctly, bugs, app, and disruptive. So I want you guys to figure out which word belongs to which blank. Pause the video, try it yourselves first. And when you're done, resume the video and we will go through the answers together. Here are the answers. App workshop, summary of results. Project, test of a new GPS app. The expected results. The app was expected to be 100% accurate in finding the user's location, and it was expected to find the user in a fraction of the time. Actual results. The app had many disruptive bugs that caused it to load a lot slower than it's supposed to. It also failed to correctly find the user's location most of the time. Conclusion. We need to debug the app until it does what it's supposed to do accurately and quickly. Okay, so those are the answers, and that's it for this section of the unit. So that was the last activity of this unit. If you guys need any additional help, you will have access to the vocabulary PowerPoints, which has the definitions of all the words we've covered today, as well as the Thai word equivalent for each of the vocabulary. I hope to see you guys for the next unit. See you next time.